Now let's look at moving average method. Moving average method is to take past few time periods and average those actual values and use that average as the forecast for the future time period. And how many periods should you average? Then, well, you have to try different number of time periods and compare the accuracy measures like mean absolute error or MSE, root mean square error, and then use one of those measures for comparison and select whichever one gives you the least possible error measure. So if you're going to use MA3, then the first time period for which you can actually compute an average of past 3 time periods is in week 4. So if you want to compute a forecast using MA3 in week 3, you will only have 2 time periods worth of data. So if you want to use MA3, the first time period you can use or you can find a forecast for is week 4, and that would be the average of the 3 weeks like that. So that will be the forecast for week 4, and then we can copy that across all the way down and one over into the future as well. So let's put the border back here. Okay. Okay. So this is the forecast for week 27 using MA3 period, K equal to 3. Similarly, if you want to use 7 period moving average, then for the first 7 weeks, you cannot compute any forecast. The first time period for which we can compute forecast is in week 8, and we take the average of the 7 weeks prior to that and use that and copy that, and you get forecasts all the way up to there. So that would be our forecast for week 27 if we use 7 period moving average. Okay. Now we can see how these averages work by plotting the values. Okay. Suppose we plot, we want to prepare a scatter plot. So week in the x-axis, okay, and the actual value and the forecast in the y-axis. So let's go like that, and then you say insert scatter plot, okay, and we can connect them as well. Okay, now since the first column is x-axis and the next 3 columns are the y-axis values, we can highlight all the 4 columns and then select a particular chart type, and that will produce the chart for us. So this is the chart title is time series plot for WFJ sales. Okay. And we have the legend down here. Okay. Now let's also add axis titles. Here this is week, and this will be sales. And as you see that the smaller between MA3 and MA7, the smaller K, okay, follows the actual values much more closely, whereas the larger K value, MA7, stays kind of stable. It doesn't react to sudden changes very much. So larger the K value, the more stable the forecast is going to be, and smaller the K, it will track the actual values much more closely. So whichever, it's not necessary that one is better than the other. That's just the characteristic of the value of k. As k increases, it becomes more stable. As k is relatively small, the moving average will track the actual values rather closely. Now, some of the other methods we're going to discuss do much better than moving average, so we will move along to the next one, which is the exponential smoothing model.